David Hunter, CEO of Take Me. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm so delighted. I'm almost pinching myself that you're actually here in the flesh, and I feel like I'm with a celebrity all the way from Dublin to our humble office.
I could say the same myself, but I'm glad to catch you because you've had a really, really busy couple of weeks. Tell me what's been going on with Take Me and iCabbi.
Well, it has been a huge moment for us in our journey. So we've decided to opt for one system. The last few years we've had multiple platforms, multiple systems, but now in our final stage of our journey, bringing the brand together, we've had to opt for one system. So for the last few weeks, 2,500 cars, which is roughly half our fleet, we've been migrating across to you guys from another dispatch system. So that has been fraught, hectic, and it's about probably 8-9 months worth of planning there.
Bit of planning and then 2 weeks of just
Yeah, and everyone sort of
non-stop
relaxed
work.
after go live day and go, well, that's it, we've done our job. But of course, then the little bugs and the changing of the settings comes in. But actually, it went really well. So, and I'm not really the one who had the stress. I just had to carry my team and sort of nurture them and feed them with alcohol after their stressful days. So.
Well, it sounds like a decent formula for a hard day's work. Tell me, why did you decide that you've always had iCabbi and another dispatch provider across the two fleets? This isn't our first rodeo, so we've done lots of interviews, and I often kind of try and get you at the end and say, by the way, which one do you prefer? And you've always managed to just like sit on the fence over the
sit
two
on the
things.
fence. Well, everyone becomes so entrenched in their systems, and to be fair, I've always felt, and made no secret of the fact, I've always felt at home at Take Me, but I'm talking from the days when I was my own operator, and now we're much bigger than that with multiple operators, and everyone's entrenched. But we had to make a decision as to which one we would back and go for, and it seemed, when we were talking to the operators, iCabbi was the company people wanted to work with, and felt that there's a lot of development going on, and of course the great relationships with people. So that's why we chose iCabbi.
And it's kind of a hard decision. It's a bit of a blur oasis, isn't it?
It's very, I mean, we had 18 months of this delay, but originally we were trying to build something on top of all the dispatch systems. So we had something that would sit there and could choose its DMS supplier. But that would have been very expensive. Would it have worked as well as having an app from one of the suppliers? Possibly not. So eventually we had to jump in the water and make a decision.
And so you mentioned some of the factors involved in the decision there, but what were the most important priorities for you guys in making that ultimate decision?
I think the future, basically. We wanted a company that was possibly independent, that we could work with and mold the product around what we needed to. And I think some of your recent acquisitions with the Move AI, with Udo, that technology, and the game changer, of course, Google Maps, which already is proven to be, we're onto a winner with that. We've only been live now, as we record this, just over a week, and already we're seeing an uptick in jobs and more efficiently run dispatch. So,
which is really, really great. But change is hard, and drivers don't always love change. So what was that like in terms of like managing the driver expectations, or maybe
Yeah, I mean, the hardest thing, operators you can train very easily, and some have already had experience on multiple platforms, but it's drivers, and they judge the system by the driver app. They don't see everything behind the curtain. So the driver app was saying, so actually that job was quite easier because your driver app, I think, is state-of-the-art technology, and has only recently been released in the last year with Google Mapping, of course. So that made it easier, but then we produced lots of videos that we sent them. We had training days, a mammoth driver day down in Plymouth.
and
we've
yeah,
been
that looks very good. Yeah,
replicating that all over the country. So a lot of time and investment went in sitting down with drivers, making sure they were happy.
You mentioned the people and the relationships with iCabbi. How important has that been to you guys, I suppose, in the smooth go live and in your plans for the future?
I think the word is trust, and the beauty of the team that you gave us is that a lot of them are ex-people from taxi companies, so the integrity was there. There's a huge amount of trust when you change system, because unlike any other product, if you change your accounts package or you change the brand of cars you're buying, then that doesn't really affect how the business operates. But this is the brains of the business. So it's a very nerve-wracking time. And so you have to have that integrity and trust. And, you know, your team have been honest about sort of planning our expectations of what we can and cannot do. So, yeah, all the managers that have been responsible for their own sites have come through the whole experience, which a lot of them are very nervous about. Some of them have been using the same system for 20 years, so it's a big event for them. But they've all come out smiling, and you know, and the experience was less stressful than they thought.
Although it is fairly stressful and it's quite hectic and there's a lot to learn, it was also quite good fun, wasn't it? Like 2 weeks, 14 sites, 2,500 cars, like a whole room and Sheffield HQ set up to back everybody up and people on the ground. And, you know, it was quite good fun too in terms of like building the community and I suppose welcoming those new fleets to the iCabbi family, as we call it.
Yeah, and a lot of new friendships have been formed. I was with the manager of Nuneaton earlier today, Lee Roberts, who's built up a great relationship with Steve Holland. And they keep WhatsApping each other pints of Guinness for some reason. But, you know, and this is a people's game. I know we have all these algorithms, but it is my mantra. We're more than just an algorithm. And not only in work, but as we deal with our customers and drivers, that human touch is so important. And obviously, it's the gift of the gab from the Irish. You've always got that great rapport with us as human beings, and that makes us warm to you. And so it's made the experience very enjoyable.
We have a mutual liking for a party, David, I think, don't we? You're always first on the dance floor.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit more grown up now. I have more responsibility, but until the second pint in.
You've done a great job with the Take Me brand, and you've just launched the Take Me national app. What's the plan for that?
Well, the national app, literally, we've just gone live with the national app. So now we have a clear-up operation. So we've got a whole archive of legacy apps that need to disappear, and we need to migrate that customer base to the national app. We're also taking your app and developing it further to add things to the Take Me app. And so that will be rolled out to our fleets and our franchise, but we'll also at some point be putting that to all the iCabbi customer base that we can use and take advantage of the branding and pushing that. Because I was looking at your figures, the amount of cars you have with the taxi lines is amazing. So if we can unite the trade and get behind one app and get a structure where people own part of that app, then I think we can easily give some of these large American apps a run for their money in the UK market.
And I think part of the ethos of Take Me is to unite the trade under one brand, giving them streamlined operations, marketing, finance, one dispatch provider. For fleets that are out there that are interested in possibly joining the Take Me group, what would you say to them? What do they need to be thinking about?
Well, what we try and do is we try and take all the hassle out of running a taxi business, because we've got multiple resources now. You know, if you need expertise on SEO, there's somebody that, if you need somebody chasing the debt, there's somebody within the group that can do that for you. Because what we want each site person to do, whether it's under our ownership, franchise, or they just want help, is that we want you focusing on the customer and the driver, the two revenue streams, and to maximise the reach of your app and your marketing. And we can do that digitally quite easily. And that's where we're quite strong. All our KPIs are going up. We're not seeing any downturn. And that's because we're harnessing all the goodness out of the trade and putting it to good use. So that's the idea. I mean, I just remember the days of running my own fleet, and you had to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. And 1 minute I was chasing that, next minute dealing with a legal issue or a complaint, then dealing with a driver coming in, having a moan at me. And your just head is exploding. And there's many owners like that. And so what we offer is a service where we can come in and cut your overhead, but more importantly, you become part of the team. And we're not venture capitalists, we are just people that run taxi businesses, but we found a way of communicating together, which I think was evident. We recently had an AGM at your place, and whereas before
and a big party after it, and I missed it. I can't believe it.
But there's 23 different owners there, all getting on, all focusing on consolidation, working together, and that's the bit that excites me, and we can see it working. We've got evidence of it working, and we're just there. So don't be afraid just to reach out, you know, via the website, LinkedIn, or social media. We'll get round and we'll have a chat with you.
It's been a great success story since you started Take Me. What number of cards do you have now, and what do you expect to have by the end of 2025?
You see, number of cars, people always go, I've got 5,000 cars, I've got 10,000 cars. The exact figure, if I'm honest, I've not checked this week, but we were just under 4,000 cars across the grid. By the end of the year, because we've got an announcement to make a few days after this goes out, which will add another 1,400 cars to the fleet. And then going into next year, there's some M&A stuff we're buying, and there's some more franchise deals we need to get across the line and onto iCabbi very quickly. So by March, I think we'll be on about 6 or 7. We're also talking to a large fleet in Spain that wants to take the Take Me app and work with us there. So that's 1,500 cars. But I think by the end of next year, 8,000 or 9,000 cars will be on the UK. But who knows if we manage to get the app out there in more places and get more people to join us as a team and co-ownership, etc.
Well, one thing
Sky's the limit.
one thing is guaranteed is that there will continue to be lots of news coming from you guys, because every time I open up a social media app, there's something fun, exciting, new and successful coming from you guys. So well done, and let's look forward to some success together.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.